Hey, welcome back. Today, we're diving into something that's pretty much a nightmare for any homeowner: water damage. And believe me, it's way more than just a puddle on the floor. It's a high stakes race against the clock, involving some pretty cool science. So let's get right into it. So picture this, right? You walk in your front door and you hear it, that sound of running water when nothing should be on. Or maybe you look up and see that dreaded brown stain spreading across your ceiling. Yeah, that's pure panic mode. But knowing what's actually going on, that's your first step to getting things under control. And it's not always some big dramatic flood you see on the news. Honestly, most of the time, the trouble starts right inside your own house. It could be something as simple as a washing machine hose that finally gave up, a sneaky little leak from your dishwasher, or a pipe that froze and burst over the winter. All right, so let's dig into the why. Why is even a tiny bit of water such a massive problem? Because the real danger isn't the puddle you're mopping up. It's everything that's happening where you can't see. I mean, think about a place like Pontiac, Michigan. You've got these older homes, a lot of them with old school galvanized pipes, and then you throw in those crazy freeze-thaw cycles they get. It's basically a perfect recipe for burst pipes. But here's the thing. Even though those details are specific to one place, the risk is something homeowners everywhere can relate to. Okay, if there's one thing you need to take away from this, it's this: speed is everything. The second water gets loose in your house, a clock starts ticking. And trust me, it's a fast one. Seriously, this is the whole game right here. The pros say it best: speed determines how much we can save. It really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? Jumping into action right away is without a doubt the best thing you can do to save your stuff, limit the damage, and keep the repair bill from getting out of control. And this timeline, it really shows you how tiny that window of opportunity is. In just the first day, that water is soaking into your drywall, your insulation, your subfloors, everything. Wait 48 hours, well, now you've got mold starting to grow. And if you let it go for a week or more, now we're talking serious structural damage, wood rot, and some pretty nasty health risks. That clock does not mess around. So if it's a race, how do you actually win it? Well, it's not by throwing a bunch of towels down and pointing a fan at the wall. Professional restoration is a whole different ballgame. It's a science, a really precise one that's all about stopping that clock and actually reversing the damage. And it all kicks off with one simple but super important question: where did the water come from? The answer to that one question changes everything. Pros have this official system they use to classify the water, and it's always the very first thing they figure out. So, you've got category 1, that's clean water, like from a burst pipe. No big deal health-wise. Then there's category 2. They call it gray water. Think of a leaky dishwasher or washing machine. It's got some gunk in it. But category 3, that's the one you really don't want. They call it black water for a reason. We're talking sewage backups, river flooding, seriously contaminated and dangerous stuff. From there, the whole process breaks down into two main phases. The first is called mitigation. This is like the emergency room visit. The goal is just to stop the bleeding, right? Get the water out, stabilize everything, and tear out the stuff that's beyond saving. And only when that's done do you move on to restoration, which is, the actual rebuilding. But here's the coolest part. How do they get things like truly dry? Not just surface dry, but bone dry deep inside? It's a science called psychrometry. Basically, they bring in these huge dehumidifiers and giant fans to control the air, creating what's basically a targeted desert wind right inside your house. And this super dry air literally pulls every last drop of moisture out from inside your walls.
It's pretty amazing.
So this whole scientific approach fits into a really clear step-by-step process that's designed to take you from total chaos back to normal. And no matter what caused the mess, the game plan is always the same. It follows these 3 specific steps. It's a system that makes sure nothing gets overlooked and that the fix is done right the first time around. So, phase 1. This is all about damage control. The crew gets there, they hunt down the source, figure out what category of water it is, and start pulling out the standing water right away. They're also taking pictures, documenting everything, and getting rid of anything that's just too soaked to save. Then comes phase 2. And that's the high-tech drying we were just talking about. This is so far from guesswork. You'll have this heavy-duty equipment running for maybe 3 to 5 days straight. And the whole time, technicians are coming in with these scientific tools, taking moisture readings. They're not just touching the wall to see if it feels dry. They're waiting for their instruments to prove that the materials have hit the official dry standard. And only after they get that green light from the science, then we get to phase 3. This is the part everybody's been waiting for, right? The rebuild. Putting up new drywall, laying down new floors, a fresh coat of paint, all the stuff that finally makes it feel like you're home again. Okay, so this all sounds, well, intense and expensive, which brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. What's the damage to the wallet? I mean, let's be real. Beyond all the chaos and the mess, what this is going to cost is a huge source of stress for anyone. So let's just break it down. The truth is, the cost can be all over the map. You know, a small clean water leak, you might be looking at a couple $1,000s. But a big disaster, especially with contaminated water that gets into multiple rooms, yeah, that can easily shoot past $10,000, and sometimes way, way more. And this right here just drives home how critical that speed is. Look at this. Spending, say, $3,000 on a quick professional fix today could save you from a $40,000 nightmare of structural repairs and mold removal later on. The payoff for acting fast is just, it's huge. Now, here's something you really need to know about your insurance. In their eyes, not all water damage is the same. Your standard policy will probably cover things that are sudden and accidental, like a pipe bursting. But slow, gradual leaks you didn't fix, or a massive flood that comes from outside, yeah, that's usually not covered, unless you have a separate flood insurance policy. So, I want to leave you with this one last thought. You've had a leak. You've cleaned it up. You touched the wall. It feels dry. But the real question is it? What about the moisture you can't see, the water that's still trapped deep inside the wall? Because the thing about hidden moisture is, what you don't know absolutely will grow.